For almost 2 years now, I have shared weekly anonymous experiences with you all. I have discussed the horrific, the atrocious, and the terrifying encounters with creatures that are unmet from society's eyes. Whether they are true or false is for you to wander about alone at night. But if you do go camping, the question will be there, lingering, poking at your thoughts as you try to close your eyes in that thin tent. The embers of the prior hours radiate softly. And then, you hear it. You can tell yourself that it's a deer, or a tempting fox, maybe an owl. But then you hear it again. It's closer. You can, again, tell yourself that it's a deer. Maybe that fox sure is a curious one. Or, you can start to prepare yourself. How so? Join us as we analyze, discuss, and explain the behavior of the 3 most misinformed, skin-crawling, flesh-wearing beasts of nature. I'm your co-host, TIMESIX, and this is Jar 19's Guide to Survival.
Target analysis. Name: Skinwalker. Class: Parasapien, Witch. Habitat: near Navajo gravesites and forests around the Navajo tribe region. Lifespan: unknown. Strengths: shapeshifting, dark magic, possible telepathy, and mimicry. Weaknesses: weapons dipped in holy white ash, they cannot enter a home without an invitation, and hearing their full Navajo name. Overall threat level: 7 to 9. Behavior: Skinwalkers seek to harm, lay curses, and practice evil whenever and wherever possible, utilizing spells and charms to instill fear and control over their victims. It is also rumored to be able to steal the face of another human being by locking eye contact with them. Once eye contact is made, the victim's body will freeze up with fear, allowing the Skinwalker to harness that fear for its own power.
A Skinwalker is, or was once, a human with the ability to shapeshift into any creature that they please. But in order to do so, they first must gather the pelt of the creature they wish to morph into. In Navajo lore, a Skinwalker is a higher form of witchcraft, second only to being a Klizadi, which means pure evil. To become such a high-ranked witch is only sought by breaking a cultural taboo rule. This consists of murdering a close blood relative, incestual relationships, performing necrophilia, or other similar evil acts. Once done, the witch has now become a Skinwalker, also referred to as Yi Nalushi, which translates to, by means of it, it goes on all fours. All hopes of humanity have now been destroyed. The practitioner has become fully initiated to the craft. Unlike Navajo medicine men, a Skinwalker uses the magic that they've learned to create curses and lay harmful spells on others. Their entire purpose for their existence is to cause harm, to practice the evil arts.
Target analysis. Name: Goatman. Class: Parasapien, animal humanoid. Habitat: North America, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Texas. Lifespan: unknown. Strengths: mostly unknown due to variations of species, although superior strength, speed, night vision, and powerful horns are a certainty. Weaknesses: firearms and melee weapons. Overall threat level: 8. Behavior: there are several variations of the Goatman, so it's difficult to pinpoint an exact behavioral state of the creature in general. Although, the most common traits identified have revealed that all Goatmen apparently share in an ability that allows them to mimic voices and cries, as well as having superhuman-like strength. Its motivations are unclear, though it seems driven to one distinct and terrible behavior: murder.
The Goatman creature is quick to be blamed whenever you hear of something with antlers or horns terrorizing groups of teenagers. And, as stated before, there are several kinds of Goatmen. There is the Pope-Lick monster, a creature made up of part man/part goat and part sheep. It is reported to live beneath a railroad bridge over Pope-Lick Creek, located in Louisville, Kentucky. The Pope-Lick monster is rumored to be able to hypnotize its victims before murdering them. It can also mimic cries that lure trespassers onto the bridge, where they will be then struck by an oncoming train. Supposedly, it attacks its victims with a large, blood-stained axe, and is so terrifying that just the sight of it is believed to drive people to suicide. And then there is the Goatman of Maryland, who shares somewhat similar traits to the Pope-Lick monster. It is believed to be a half-goat/half-man creature, with the head and legs of a goat, but with the torso of a human. According to urban legend, the Goatman of Maryland was at one time a scientist who worked in the Beltsville Agriculture Research Center. He was performing experiments on goats until one gruesome night when an experiment backfired, mutating the scientist into a goat-like creature. Unknown if he was driven mad from rage or from the experiment, the newly malformed cryptid would begin attacking passerbyers with an axe, roaming down the back roads of Beltsville, Maryland. The urban legend of Maryland's Goatman gathered traction when in 1971, the death of a family's dog was blamed on the Goatman by multiple local witnesses. And lastly, there is the Lake Worth monster. Texan folklore tells of a creature made up of both man and goat, but also has scales and long clawed fingers. Reported sightings in the late 60s led many to believe that there was a monstrous being living in Lake Worth. The creature would go on to destroying people's cars and throwing automobile tires at groups of people. But unlike the other Goatmen, this one has been spun up to being more likely a campfire scary story than anything actually plausible. For not until decades later that two people would come forward as the pranksters pulling these stunts. In the 2000s, there were two anonymous confessions, one claiming to have made a tinfoil mask for the purpose of scaring people, and the other being the tire-throwing perpetrator. Though the evidence of the Lake Worth monster can be questionable, the other two infamous Goatmen, well, that all boils down to you, the viewer.
Target analysis. Name: Fleshgait. Class: Parasapien, Shapeshifter. Habitat: woodland, tundra, and rarely civilization. Lifespan: unknown. Strengths: mimicking voices, superior strength and speed, and excellent taxidermists. Weaknesses: adapting to human behavior and narcotics. Overall threat level: 8. Behavior: these nightmarish creatures are known to often hunt in packs, with human beings as their preferred targets. One Fleshgait will draw in another unsuspecting human by mimicking phrases and shouts that it has learned from earlier encounters, or from stalking, observing, and listening to the humans they track. This creature may try to lead its victim to a secluded location, far enough so the rest of the pack can attack and enjoy their spoils undisturbed.
The Fleshgait can flawlessly replicate the appearance and voice of its specific victim by stealing and or occupying their body or skin. Though capable of perfectly mimicking its victim, it is commonly known to be unable to pick up on human behavior. Granted, in some experiences, the suspected Fleshgait was allegedly displaying exceptional attempts with human behavior, such as using technology in displaying proper mannerisms. But it's mostly infamous for its inept ability to blend in with more humans. Due to its ineptness, it often heavily relies on picking apart a group of humans and drawing in victims independently. It uses short call-to-action phrases such as,
"Hey, hello, help,"
to lure its victims away. Once the Fleshgait has its new body, the recently fleshed cryptid may be jumpy, fearful of being identified by the other humans in the group. Their short-term motivations are savagely clear: to hunt, feast, and adapt among us. Their long-term motivations, though, still remain a mystery. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I'm so very glad that I got the chance to create such a video with such an original creator. I highly recommend checking out Jar19 and his series, A Guide to Survival. His channel is criminally underrated, and especially for the content that he puts out. So links are in the description. I'm TIMESIX. Have a good night.